he was 200 yards out, so he could hit him anywhere. Why did he choose?
So he chose that shot. Yeah.
He chose that spot, in my view, to be like, we could silence you. They literally hit him in the jugular.
Then,
I can guarantee you it's not a
first of all, let's
Republican.
definitely look it up.
During this past few months, they asked him, they're like, what do you want to be remembered for? He said, Christ.
Yeah. So this idea that there's only one side of the country that is violent and it's the left, I just think that that's like a completely wrong mischaracterization.
Hey, I don't want to offend you or say anything because you believe in violence.
What happened after George Floyd was not protesting.
Yeah,
Immediately that first night turned into riots and looting.
Registered Republican from...
He's a registered Republican.
Registered
We
Republican.
didn't see anybody burning down cities. We didn't see anybody going out there and creating chaos.
Well, when it comes to relationships, something that I learned, wise man told me this, but you can be right or you can be happy.
Ooh, yes.
The left is the only group out of these two groups that labels their opponents as fascists. Because fascism,
I've looked up fascism so many times because I want to get that right. And
Regimentation of society and economy. Sorry, I went to public school.
This is the closure, this is the culture, this is the ending, the final chapter. You are the voter, you are the donor, you are the only one that can save it.
JC, you weren't there the first episode. Scott was. The whole reason for me wanting to start this show was to normalize dialogue. You can disagree with someone cold-heartedly. You could think they're the most evil person out there. But we talked about this a month ago. The way that this nation is vilifying a certain group, it doesn't matter which group it is, the way it dehumanizes them. You get incidents like we had this past week. It wasn't just one incident. We had the lady in a bus in New York that was an immigrant story. She just happened to be white. Then we have Charlie Kirk get it unalived in front of his kids and wife and tens of thousands of his students. And to me, I was like, that was the goal. A month ago, we talked about this. That was the goal, to normalize dialogue, normalize that you have the right to believe in whatever you want to believe, and I have the right to believe in whatever I want to believe, and we can live in peace because that's what democracy looks like. And then we are here today. Like, there's so many emotions that I have. The last reel I posted on my Instagram account, I recorded that video probably like 50 times. It's like, what do you say at this point?
Yeah, and you said it right. It's about the point of the importance of the dialogue is to humanize people, right? Because when you don't have these conversations, when you don't actually sit and talk to them, then it's very easy to just to humanize them, not see their value, not see their worth. You know what I'm saying? You begin to look at them like other, as opposed to, you operate differently with somebody that you look at as your brother. You know what I'm saying? As you look at, but you disagree with your brother all the time, but that's still your brother, but that's not how we look at each other. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I have so much respect for, obviously the platform and what you're doing and your purpose for doing it. And you're right, bro. It's crazy to see a month after that. It's a wild world we live in, bro. It's a wild world we live in. And it's scary to think about, like where are we going from here? You know what I'm saying? There's no, right now you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So,
There has been light at the end of tunnel. That one thing that made me proud was the fact that this incident took place. No city is getting burned down. Nobody's looting anything. People are getting together and praying. Like, I'm impressed by America. But at the same time, you see the crazies that are celebrating this incident. I have people that I know, I was neighbors with, and they have said stuff to me throughout the years. Oh, too bad the Trump shooter missed. Things like that.
Yeah.
And I always thought about it as a joke because Trump survived. And these same people are now sending me like text messages. Oh, I think Trump did it. Or this guy advocated for guns. So it's only right that he gets killed by a gun. You advocate for drinking. You want to become an alcoholic and die from a liver disease? Like what?
Yeah, no, I've seen that a lot too. Because that's like, like car accidents happening is a price that you pay to have cars and be able to have cars. But does that mean that you think that every,
Person driving a car
deserves
has
to
the
die
potential?
from it? Yeah. So I agree that that's a very silly argument. I've seen the Trump thing too. The whole I've heard it be like a conspiracy that's another way to cover up Epstein files.
What?
Yeah.
How far does it go?
Yeah. I mean,
Well, no. Like the
I don't
past,
know how
the
serious
past 3 days has been crazy, right? Because now they found the killer. There's all sorts of information about him, and I was thinking about this on the drive here. I would like to even apologize to some of my Democratic liberal friends because I jumped to a conclusion about what this could be, what it represents, who is at fault, and are you a sports fan?
Yeah.
What's your team?
I root for all the Miami teams.
All the Miami teams? Okay, I'm sorry about your Dolphins. Anyways,
I am too.
So look, in sports, right? We can have like this healthy, like your team versus my team, right? That's what competition is. And I think about it sometimes, like in sports, when somebody commits a foul, there's like, yeah. Even if your team was wrong, even if it's a bad foul, you're still like, yeah, well, it's my team, and we view our team as like, oh, this is us versus them, and it doesn't matter that they cheated or the flag was bad or whatever. It's my team. But when we're talking about a nation, and I just got engaged recently, and I'm thinking a lot about some of the challenges and arguments that I have in my relationship, and it's like trying to be right is not the right thing to do.
That would.
But fascist is not. That is.
It's a term that the left uses for the right to vilify us.
I mean, but it's not. But it's not a term that is like our right wingers. Are they anti-fascist? Like, do you guys like fascism?
No.
So I don't think it's not fair to assume that using the word fascist automatically means that he's a left winger, because you could think that
there's two groups in the U.S., right? The right and the left. The left is the only group out of these two groups that labels their opponents as fascists, even though they are not fascist. And when you vilify,
I don't know if I accept that.
You think the Republican parties are fascist? Do you really believe that?
Do I think that they're fascist, or so? I'm saying what I don't accept is the idea that like right wingers don't raise red flags about things that they think that the left are doing that are fascist.
Like the
I
extreme
think that it's
What's the
I think that it's
definition
a
of
term.
fascism?
Yeah,
JC,
please.
look up the definition of fascism, because fascism.
I've looked up fascism so many times because I want to get that right, and it's a real, it's a long thing.
To me, from my understanding, fascist is a group that wants to silence the opposition, whatever it might be.
Yes.
So, in the U.S., who is trying to silence conversation? It's not the right. The right is going out of their way, spending their money, putting their own lives at the risk, showing up to the universities.
So the right feels like the left does that.
Okay, so fascism, real quick.
So they call the left fascists in those certain.
No. The
I'm just
left
saying,
calls the right fascist.
But the right also calls the left.
No. We don't. We
You
just
don't.
label them as
I'm saying
crazies.
there are. But and that's where like generalizations get sticky, because obviously it's never gonna be across the board. You know what I'm saying? But it's also it's
JC gives us the definition of.
yes.
Okay, well, first of all, and as I was Googling this, I had this immediate thought of like, is this thing even biased? No, seriously. And that I feel like that's such a big
It's a scary
predicament
thing. Yeah,
that it's like, what is
absolutely.
truth?
I mean, we saw with Grok how Elon went in and he like with the South Africans, right? He'll change Grok to fit whatever narratives he wants to put out there. So we already know that these big information
that too?
sources, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like we know that these big tech
Mhm.
information sources, they can be manipulated in that way. So I feel you with your concern.
So let's read this. So fascism is the right authoritarian and ultra-nationalist political ideology defined by a dictatorial leader, the forced suppression of opposition, and the regimentation of society and economy. Sorry, I went to public school. Okay, so it emerged in the 20th century Europe and in response to the perceived failure of liberal democracy, capitalism, and socialism, most prominently in Italy under Benito Mussolini and German under Adolf Hitler's Nazi Party. So basically, it's like
My way or
Yeah.
the highway.
and look. So do you guys know what's going on in El Salvador?
Yeah.
You know Bukele?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bukele basically came in and said, if you're a gang, like zero tolerance, and literally went house to house and they purged the entire nation of MS-13 and any other gang affiliated anybody. And there were casualties, right? Because there are people that have tattoos or maybe look that way, but they're not gang members, and they got incarcerated.
Yeah, there are tens of thousands of innocent people
So-
locked up.
But
No contact with their family. Don't see them for.
Hold on, what was the alternative? Tens of thousands of people were getting murdered every
Right.
year in El Salvador prior to that, right?
No, like
So-
you may think that the solution to that is locking up hundreds of thousands or whatever of innocent people, and I'm not saying that I have the remedy either. And that's one thing that I don't like is when people are overly critical of whatever approach and they don't even have an approach of their own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're just like
It's just a
argue-
bad
you know what I'm saying?
idea.
You're ju- you know what I
Leave it
mean?
alone.
But yeah, that's with the Bukele situation. There's arguments for and against it for sure. I just feel like as somebody who didn't do anything wrong, to have to sit, in or die in a prison because of an overreaction, or I don't even know how to put it. That can't be something that's celebrated either. And there's a lot of people that have that story.
No, it's
You know what I mean?
definitely not a reason.
But that's the
to
same
be
thing with the
celebrated.
George Floyd situation. It's like there was an immediate overreaction, whereas like we're having peaceful protests and we're willing to like basically throw a tantrum. On one side of our society is throwing a tantrum, and is that okay? Is that acceptable? I mean, I think one of the things that we found out this past week is the reaction to this shooting, and we didn't see anybody burning down cities. We didn't see anybody going out there and creating chaos. And so,
Because what would be the goal of that, right? With George Floyd, there was protest about reform. That's the point of the protest. It wasn't just we're mad, so we're going to protest. There
Mhm.
was like a goal at the end of it. What would be the goal of?
What was accomplished from George Floyd, though?
Well, that's separate from actually protesting, right? Me fighting for something is different.
What
than-
happened
than
after
that
George
thing.
Floyd was not protesting?
Yeah,
It
there were.
immediately that first night turned into riots and looting. There
So,
were
like-
cities burning down.
So I think they reported like over 93% of the protests were peaceful, and of the 7% that weren't peaceful, that counted things like blocking streets and things like that. So even situations that weren't vandalism, that's all counted into the 7%. The vast majority of the protests were peaceful. Like obviously there were non-peaceful ones, but
this
like
is
what do you
the-
think makes
that's a really high percentage, though.
Hold on. It's consistent with the left, though. We saw it with the immigration protests, too.
Mm.
Those were not protests. If you come on I-10 or 45 and get in the middle of the highway and shut the highway down while people are trying to get to work or go get their kids from a school, you're disrupting life.
Mhm.
I don't care what your message is. Even if your message is positive and good,
Yeah.
your actions is doing the opposite toward making that cause have a solution.
Mm.
This one time with Charlie Kirk, we haven't seen that.
Mm.
The only thing that they've done, show up, pray together, and walk away.
But again, what would be the goal of the protest with Charlie Kirk?
there's a lot of laws. I shared this story.
Non-violence for one.
Not violence. There's definitely so back in 2013, Republican House and Senate, and Obama as president. So it's a both party system. They legalized propaganda. So media is not responsible for what they're saying. We're not technically responsible for what we're saying, and you opened up the gateway for false narrative and radicalization to happen. There's a lot of good people that I know there are good people, and they truly believe that Charlie Kirk was a racist, bigot, a misogynist, a homophobic, white nationalist. And I had multiple conversations during the last few days with people, and they're trying to convince me that he was. And I told every single one, go do your own research. See what this man said, the full context of it. Don't nitpick about one sentence like, oh, I don't have empathy for gun violence. He said that. 2 sentences after, it was like, instead of empathy, we should have sympathy. So like you feel like you're part of it rather than trying to feel somebody else's pain. So this soundbite, what he said, he talked about black and crime rate. They take a little sound bites of what he said and they vilify the man to the point that people believe this guy deserved to die. And the way he did on national TV, and that video keeps circulating everywhere. And my question is this. At what point are we going to say that's too much? How many people have to die? Or are we just not going to have that conversation anymore? The next day after Charlie was dead, I wore my MAGA hat. And people were out in the airport were stopping there like, don't wear that today. Be careful. And I'm like, I'm in the airport. There's no weapons here. So I'm in the safest place wearing this hat. But like, that fear is embedded in people.
It is now,
a lot of people are going to get silenced because of this, but fortunately, I think the opposite is going to happen. A lot of people are going to be more vocal, and there's going to be a lot more Charlies.
But this elevates free speech. Now the people that go out there and set up a tent and are willing to have discussions, like you just elevated what that means, like what the bravery. Because I was actually thinking about saying something to you earlier, and I had this thought of like a joke of like, hey, blah 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 blah, hey, don't shoot me, but
wow.
And I was like, that's actually like, and I don't know if this is too soon, but that actually is like, that's a thing now. Hey, I don't want to offend you or say anything because you believe in violence, so you could hurt me, and I think that's the crossroad that we're at. It's like there's a group of people that believe in violence as justified, and another group that's not.
But what is the group? Again, Tyler, this guy who shot Charlie Kirk, is a Republican from Republican
He's not.
family.
I can guarantee you.
No,
look
I do want to react. I do want to react to something here, but
hold on. We do that later. Look it up.
But then
I can guarantee you he's not a
First of all, let's
Republican.
definitely look it up.
What are we looking at?
But
what do you want?
Tyler, what's his name?
Tyler Robinson, political affiliation. He's a
political
registered voter,
but then also even like I don't even think anybody knows his name. We haven't talked about it, but the guy who took the shot at Trump, him and his family are all Republicans.
Yeah.
So this idea that it's like
that one I don't know. I'm not saying yes, but okay.
Yeah. So it's like,
you mean the kid that missed?
the kid that the one that got his ear, right? So this idea that there's only one side of the country that is violent and it's the left, I just think that that's like a completely wrong mischaracterization of what's going on.
Okay.
ChatGPT it.
Do you want ChatGPT?
Yeah. Don't.
I got you.
Hey,
Google it.
chat, man.
Google search is done.
No, I know.
Yeah, Google is done with search.
Okay, so
they already know.
If anything, Gemini, but
Yeah,
like
they
Google
should.
search,
If it's up to me and I was Google, I would get rid of the search engine now.
they
Like,
still have 40, people 40 and up on the internet. That's the
They don't
only
know
reason.
better.
That's the only reason to keep Google search. I agree.
actually,
fun, JC.
oh wait, sorry. Okay, Tyler Robinson. My bad. One second. Tyler.
Yo, yeah,
Joe Rogan is
I
a
like
better
this.
guy.
Yes, I'm not Jamie, man.
Come on, JC, get the job done.
That's close enough to Jamie too.
Who is Tyler Robinson? Okay. So age 22, education, criminal record. I mean, what do you want to know?
Political affiliation.
You want me to ask?
He's Jamie in training.
We're gonna get.
I am not Jamie in training. We need a Jamie. What's
You get it right, JC. I believe in you.
But nah, this is good. I love that we can have conversations that we can fact check in real time.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I feel like
No.
a lot of people, I don't know, just
times have changed, but soon enough, we already talked about it. Soon enough, that's gonna get people's hands get on things, and
it's already happening.
Yeah, you said it with Grok.
So what is known? Tyler Robinson, registered nonpartisan voter in Utah. He's not officially affiliated with either Republican or Democrat.
Anything about us?
So,
Anything what?
Does it say anything about his family or anything? I just
well,
like,
you can't count the family. Everybody's parents is a Republican, and the child is
Yeah.
a Democrat.
Yeah, and
No, actually,
that,
like
that is
the-
them getting back at mom and dad. And
well,
stuff,
like
right?
the vast
Yeah.
majority of people vote exactly the same way their parents do. So they're
Not
obviously-
really.
No,
if you look,
my brother, my mom.
We're not
Ray-
gonna have the fact checking section.
Oh,
Yeah, we're not going into my family.
The people that I know that are liberals, the most of their parents are Republicans.
Real quick,
So-
there are a lot of videos coming out about this. There's this one right here called "The Truth About the Shooter," and this just came out about an hour ago. So it's maybe we watch a little bit of that.
How long is it?
sure, let's do it.
Just a little bit. So make sure you have a
How long is
Oh
it?
yeah.
How long is that video, JC?
5 minutes. Just we'll just watch a couple pieces, not everything. Okay. Can you guys hear it?
Yep.
Okay, that works.
I
That
have
would
no
be
idea.
hilarious if everything I'm saying is wrong. And his family, they're like,
I don't know about the
campaign for
family,
Kamala.
but Jesus. No, the family I don't know, but him I looked it up.
I didn't know about his roommate and all that, but like,
Are we not recording right now?
We are recording.
We're recording. Go ahead.
yeah, and I like just like of what I've seen, it seemed like more than anything, he's just like, it's like internet brain rot. Brain rot, you know what I'm saying? More than anything, more than like
Did y'all look into that Nick Fluentus?
Yeah, dude,
Okay.
that's a weird fucking rabbit hole, man.
So
We'll watch a little bit of that. But
the only Republican connection that I found between this guy and Republicans is Nick Fluentus. He has a group called the Groiters or
Gropers.
Grope, whatever.
Gropers. Yeah.
come up
he-
with a better name.
He's a member of that supposedly,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, it's super right.
so
wing.
and
Yeah.
that rivalry has gone way out of hand itself with Candace Owens, Tucker,
Yeah.
Nick, and the reason I told y'all to look up who Nick Fluentus is, Charlie was a huge voice on the right.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have some voice like him taken away from that ecosystem, you got to be able to already foresee who's going to take that place. And Nick Fluentus is somebody,
Mm.
if people on the right
Interesting.
gravitate toward him
No, that's
instead of Charlie, you're talking about radicalizing a whole generation of people that
Damn.
grew up on a
Oh,
Charlie.
that's a rabbit hole, bro.
That's a rabbit hole.
Oh, boy.
Because you go, I have my own view of Charlie. To me, I agreed with 95% of what Charlie said, what he stood for, more politically than that. But I agree with most of the things that he said religiously, maybe the 5%. I didn't agree with him. But this is a man that had reverence.
Mhm.
He had self-control. He was very intelligent. And from my understanding, if anybody wants to challenge me, go ahead and challenge me. This is a kind man that nobody would find anything concrete that he said racist. His views about transgender movement, it could be taken as
I mean, he
mean
says some
or-
wild stuff. He says some stuff that I think,
you want to use
what?
an example.
I get. So I don't like.
I'm a challenge you on that one. Give me
Word.
one thing that he said that
Well-
would be
Well, it's just
racist
like
or
it's
bigoted.
just like his go-to is always to. I've just seen different things. Like his go-to is definitely always to like, you know, like overly focusing on criminalization of Black people. And I mean, I'm sure like any video that we watch of him talking about this stuff, I can
But here's the beauty. Here's the real beauty of all this. He has thousands of hours of conversations with people.
yeah.
And so if that is a concern, we can go back and listen to exactly what these
Yeah.
arguments are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anything, like, I'd be down to watch anything on it. But like, it's one of those things where I think sometimes just calling somebody racist, calling somebody sexist, or whatever, homophobic, sometimes that can be too reductive. Where it's like you can say something that's racist, but that doesn't mean that you're a racist. I can say that you said something that's racist, but that doesn't describe your whole personality. You know what I'm saying?
No, I hear that.
Even with him, like he said stuff that I think can definitely be like, there's arguments for sure to say that this thing that he said was racist, or this thing that he said was ignorant, or whatever. Like,
There's
that.
arguments, but there's not. Definitive fact.
But like, how do you know that's what is? How do you definitively say, what I'm saying, somebody's racist or not? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And how do you
I'd
define
rather
that?
not do that. So I'll just say that this thing that they said was problematic or racist.
Can we watch a couple?
Yeah,
yeah. This is one I came across, and some people were saying that this guy looks like the killer, and at first I was like, is this the killer?
Dude, you know the amount of work this guy did? 3 hours of recording in a day.
Mhm.
He went universities to universities doing this. You know how much mental power does that take?
I mean, and to have to, but also, like, obviously it's these kind of clips that are gonna go viral.
Mhm.
It's these ones, like, we don't see. I'm sure he had a lot of rational, debates with, like.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't have a
Actual
rational
rational
discussion
people.
with somebody that's irrational.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like this guy, this was never going to be a good discussion.
He went to
you know.
Oxford University, and that was an indoor, more debate style. Like
Mhm.
you each get like 3 minutes to respond back and forth.
Yeah,
I said the highest rating. JC delivered on that one. It's hard to find one that is like he has an equal of
Well,
himself
because-
in front of him.
Because, like, his audience, what are they going to gravitate to? They're going to gravitate to the ones that they can share and that make leftists look like they're stupid kids having tantrums. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like-
but not every liberal. So like Gavin Newsom,
Mm-hmm.
he was on the Charlie Kirk show,
Mm-hmm.
and that Gavin is a professional,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he played that interview so well.
Mhm.
He was like, "No, I'm reasonable." He didn't argue with Charlie at all. He just explained to him his side and let it go. So there's a lot of, I don't know a single person besides maybe Ben Shapiro, which is also on the right too,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You
that
know,
would be able to
He
debate
was
him.
supposed to debate
Nick Fluentis.
Hassan Piker, I think next
Mhm.
week or sometime in the next couple weeks at Dartmouth University. That would have been cool to see, because they're both.
Damn.
That would have been really good.
Good for him to go there and have those conversations. And some credit to Gavin Newsom.
No, yeah. Charlie Kirk. There's a lot of great clips of him online for sure. And what was that?
No, the audio on the laptop is on, JC.
Was that what's going through?
Yeah. Second.
111.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, we're good. Yeah, no, I mean, you can find a lot of great clips of him for sure.
So how do we move forward?
Bro,
Oh, can I share something? Like I work, one of my clients that I work at, and Brian knows this. He has
That was
been
yesterday.
off the rails
Mm.
this whole past week. As he's talking Civil War,
Mm.
he's talking about like don't talk to me, you liberals. And this is a gay man who he has a lot of interesting point of views, but and I'm actually thinking about him today. I was like, hey man, you probably want to retract some of these things you've said this past week, because one, it's going to affect the company, and two, like it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
That we all need to hit a hard pause.
Well, yo,
on this.
so that's one thing. Like, it's like come out that this guy Tyler comes from a Republican family and all that, and then just the complete reversal. Like, you had like Nancy Mace, right after it happened, she was calling for, obviously the death penalty, and all this, all this extreme, like an extreme reaction. And then once this guy's identity comes out and his political affiliations and everything like that, then it becomes, you know, this guy needs prayer. I'm sure if he got the chance to talk to Charlie Kirk face to face, he will feel differently, all this stuff. And I think that it's so your question of how do we move past this?
Not past
we
this.
talk
How do we
this.
move forward? I don't want to brush.
Okay,
I don't want to
yeah,
brush.
yeah. No,
this
how do we
aside.
move forward? No, absolutely. And we talked about the media, you know, when we did one of the episodes, and they're so incentivized to inflame things, and they're so incentivized to have people fighting that, in a world where media is so captured and again incentivized by sensationalizing things in order to bring people to their channels so that they can charge the premiums for ad revenue. Like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Because we're not going to shut down media, and we're not going to shut down all these online influencers who say a lot of things for the clicks and for the reshares that don't even believe what they're saying all the way, or don't research what they're saying all the way, because it's all about the engagement. Bro, I don't know. I don't know how we. Well, I guess there's questions of like moving forward as far as how do we come together. I guess that was the question I was thinking in my mind. But yeah, like, how do we move forward from this? I think we get all the facts of the situation and we diagnose it properly. But I mean, even diagnosing it, they're talking about this guy and his mental health. I mean, what administration is going to do something about healthcare and you know, mental health in this country? You know what I'm saying? Is that something that
is being addressed?
I don't think
You know what I'm
mental health is something that we can rely on the government to fix. I think the
Yeah, it's not
government
the
is
government's
has a
think
lot to
healthcare
do
comes
to
down to-
contribute to the mental health epidemic that we have, but government in no way, from my understanding, would be the solution to the mental health. This is, to me, this is not a left-right,
I agree.
rather than, this is not a political ideology. This is a spiritual warfare. Charlie was not just a conservative. He was probably the biggest evangelist in our country. Everywhere he went, he preached Christ, and then he preached politics. So he put that at the forefront of his whole career. During this past few months, they asked him, they're like, what do you want to be remembered for? He said, Christ.
Yeah.
A lot of reason that he's not here today, I think, is that he made the argument on the side of God that, hey, accepting somebody that's a transgender, you're not doing them any justice by validating their whatever it is that they're struggling with mentally. And those were the things that was not popular. He was literally talking about the transgender movement and active shooters in transgender movement when he got shot.
Yeah.
And if you look at the psyche of the shooter, he was 200 yards out. So he could hit him anywhere. Why did he choose?
So he chose that shot. Yeah.
He chose that spot, in my view, to be like, we could silence you. They literally hit him in the jugular.
Yo, please get that
Violence is not an answer.
this whole time. Like, why is it only bothering me, bro?
No, it's been driving me
Yeah,
crazy.
he came this way too.
Okay, thank you. Makes me feel bad. I'm
Hey,
like,
why
this
can't we all
racist
live
fly
in
that y'all
peace?
brought to this damn. Come on, man.
But I think metaphorically speaking, right? It is kind of like, yeah, there's this thing going on in our society, and it's just like all over us, and it's like, what do we do?
Yeah.
Look, so I lived in California for 10 years. I came out there. I would say I was left. I would say I was Democrat for the most part because I was Hispanic. I grew up as, you know, I'm an immigrant from another country. And I remember when my dad, you know, was like, oh, we're voting for Obama. I was like, well, why? It's like, oh, because he's for the immigrants. It's like, okay, well, that's one part of the thing. Why is he like, oh, I don't know. He's the immigrants. It's like, okay, there's got to be, is he the right choice because he benefits us or he benefits the whole country? Like, which is it? So immediately I was like, okay, what is this politics? And then when I went out to California and I saw the intensity of, you know, how people villainize the other side, I was like, okay, what am I? Like, I really, that's when I really started to think, like, what do I stand for? Like, and I'm not, and I don't consider myself left, right, any of those, because I at the end of the day, like, I can choose, I can look at the topic and make a decision.
case by case.
Case
That's
by
how-
case,
yeah.
and people by people, right? I don't look at someone and go, well, that person is this, that person's that. I deal with them as an individual.
Yeah.
Now, if they start exhibiting a specific pattern or a
Yeah.
specific way of being, then
You can put the pieces together.
I'd be an idiot not to go to the other side of the street or to go to the other side of the street. It's if I see certain things, and I think that's sort of the most controversial part is am I allowed to make a judgment on what's safe for me and what's right for me without me being a racist or me being this or that?
Mhm.
And that's a really hard thing for us to even say now without now getting shot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the only thing that we can focus on is the truth. Just be grounded in that. I realize it's been 2-3 days. I do things differently since the incident. My reels, every time I posted and the reel was doing good, I would pin a comment that was the opposite of my base,
Mhm.
so it could like rile them up. So algorithms, right? You can play with the algorithms. And with the last post I had, initially when the comments just start to roll in, I see the bad one, I ping it, and immediately I was like, "What are you doing?
Mm.
Why are you riling people up to just see something mean about Charlie?" And then they will react to it. Because a lot of people, like the colleague that JC has, I received so many, over 20, 30 calls from my military buddies.
Mm.
Because they think just because I work with the Republicans in Texas, they can, like, I can connect them with somebody that they could work security for future events.
Mm.
And that scares the
wow.
hell out of me, because
Wow.
if you don't have the people that are pouring in to volunteer to protect the conservatives when they have public events, and especially you have military folks that are not like peace officers, then you open up the can of worm for a lot of other people to be casualties in the next future events. And my circle is just as small, and I had 20, 30 veterans who are out of the military be like, hey, I want to do this. Connect me to somebody that would help me do this. I told all of them, I'm like, hey, get your security license. You can't just go and grab a sniper rifle and go on the roof and like protect an event.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of people think that's how it works. Because honestly, like there needs to be a solution, because Charlie had beefed up security.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
But why was there no drone flying and
There
saying
was
like,
drone.
hey,
there was drone flying,
but this guy
because these are not military drones that they're gonna have. But the way that if this alleged shooter, if
somebody
he's the
sat
guy,
on a roof like for a lot. I mean,
if he's the guy for a 21-year-old, 22-year-old,
Like
I'm gonna leave it as if he's the guy. There's a
Yeah.
lot of unanswered questions. I don't want to speculate till all the information comes out, but like
yeah,
this
which is important.
smells. There's a book on Amazon that was published
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
Yo,
on
less than
September
24
9th.
what's
Yeah.
fucking
How do you
wild.
have a book that's published? And I want to say for a record,
Yeah.
I support Israel. I support President Trump. But during the last few months, he came out and said things that were not taken as positive by the apex of the U.S., the Israeli side of the U.S. government. He said things about President Trump with the Epstein case that was not friendly. And even though I support Israel, even though I support President Trump, I'm the kind of person that says ask as much as question as you can, so you're presented with as much as answers as possible. Then you can make whatever decision or opinion that you have. Form it based on facts. But Kash Patel was on TV yesterday taking a victory lap, turning this into a campaign speech.
Yeah, yeah.
Sit
He
your
was
brown
like,
ass down, boy.
I was
Like,
so
he
excited
was like
about him.
this historic. They brought him down in historic time. Like his dad brought him in. His dad told him to,
Yeah.
you know.
where's the Epstein list? Me and Dan Mangino was here like doing this and that. As a Republican, I see that and I'm like, you're out there, Charlie's dead. You're out there taking credit for 36 or 33 hours. Why are you saying this stuff that somebody's gonna manipulate and use as a conspiracy theories to like divide us even further and further?
Yeah.
The stuff that he said, I'm like, you know, those numbers means something, and the
Yeah.
somebody on the internet, I'll tell y'all later. I don't want to speculate on. JC's looking at me. He's like, "Tell me more," but I don't want to get on speculative BS here. But you have to look at the whole thing. We have to look at all the questions that were from the Butler, Pennsylvania, when Trump got shot. We have to look at it.
And looking at the whole thing, that's so important. And I think that, and this isn't, again, not a left, right thing. People do this in general. But we got to call it out whenever it does happen. But it's something that Trump does a lot, right? You saw after that happened with Charlie Kirk, same day he's going out and he's, he's villainizing, radical leftists, and he's blaming them when there was no information on the shooter at all. Now, obviously, you could jump to a conclusion. You could think in your mind it would make sense for it to be a radical leftist, but don't say that until you have the, but you have all these people talking about a civil war, and who's inciting it? It is the president of the United States saying this before he even has any facts. You have Elon Musk out there saying these same things before they have the facts. And this is a repeated thing that both of them have done. You know what I mean?
Well, you sat here earlier today and said that he was a Republican, right? We all are guilty of the same thing, and I think
that's because I read something.
We always read something. I think that
I don't read.
Trump
hold
didn't
on.
read
I
nothing.
think the responsibility. We blame the media. We blame social media. We can blame the world, but the responsibility ultimately lies with every single one of us. We are so comforted by having technology in our hand and have information available at our fingertips so easily that, like, it's easy to read something and be like, oh, that's it. Here, Charlie is this, Charlie is that. Some people think Charlie is saint. He would come back flying on the clouds with Jesus. Some thinks he's the most racist, bigoted person out there. But I watched this kid for 12 years, literally, when he was doing Turning Point USA.
And those 18 or something, right?
Yeah, bro.
He was 18 or 19 when he started. Those videos used to have like 2-3 people around him. I've been watching him since that long.
Yeah.
This was a man that was like well calculated, well educated. He didn't have a college degree. He was that educated by himself. He was a college dropout. To justify, to be like, yeah, well, he deserved it. And then at the same breath, go advocate for George Floyd dying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not gonna get any pushback on that from any like level-headed person. You know what I'm saying?
People are not. That's the thing. I don't think there's psychologically or spiritually. I think it's more spiritually than anything else. You remove God from the equation. When you remove God from any equation, what do you open the door for? For darkness to get through. And then you have somebody that would take your life, and then you have other people who would defend that action and still celebrate it. I'm not a biggest fan of any living president that we have. Joe Biden, when I heard he had cancer, I was saddened.
Wow.
George Bush is responsible for 500,000 Iraqi deaths, 4,000 soldiers. These are people I served with. If he, God forbid, something happens to him, my immediate reaction is like, poor guy, poor his family. Who, in the right mind, you got to be unhealthy.
No, absolutely, and that's part of like the toxic internet brain rot culture that I think, because it's very sad to see. And I will say though, like the vast majority of responses that I saw, even from like Democrats and people on the left and stuff, it wasn't a celebratory tone. I think even for people who felt like he may have like called that into his life in whatever way by his rhetoric, even they weren't celebrating it. It was more
Elon Omar did.
So I didn't see. Yeah, maybe we can react to that because I didn't see the full like context of what she said. But to say like if you're like you may have brought something upon yourself, that's different than celebrating it. You know what I mean? But there are the people that I saw celebrating it.
Yeah,
for sure.
There was a guy that did that at one of the vigils, and he got like brutally attacked.
He was celebrating at a vigil.
Yeah,
Yeah, like that.
even to a vigil to start saying F Charlie Kirk, and people just beat the heck out of him. I don't condone that either, for the record. Violence is never an answer.
If you pull up to a vigil to disparage the person who died,
it's not. If you are to honor the person that you are defending, how would he choose for you to defend him? Like Christ did. He said, turn the other cheek. He wants to cuss Charlie out, let him do it. What would Jesus do, right? That's how Charlie lived his life.
Can I say something to you? Because
Sure.
are you Christian?
yeah,
Okay. And I've been thinking about this too. I think part of what Charlie represents and what Charlie represented, because there's so much hope in this kid, right? He'd be 18 years old, Turning Point USA. There's so many people that have come out that said, hey, looking back, like they knew he was going to be a big deal. What he brought to the table. And now I'm not religious in that sense. I don't identify as Christian, but in many ways, Brian, don't shoot me, okay, for saying this. But I mean, in many ways, this guy is the closest thing to Jesus. In a metaphorical sense. To some people, he represented that, because for some people, he was pure of heart. He had good intentions, whether you agree with it or not. And so for him to continue to do what he was doing and then die from that, I mean, we're going to look back 10 years from now and go, what would have happened if he would have stayed alive? He could have been president.
there's definitely a case he could have been president for sure. For sure.
I wouldn't say that he's Jesus.
No, of
but
course not. Of course not. Of course
I see
not.
exactly what you're saying. Like, and I'll double down on that. Probably in the other day when we were talking and you were like, he's going to be the MLK of the right. What was my immediate reaction after I said what I said? hopefully all the affairs and all stuff that MLK had doesn't come out about Charlie.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've seen this kid for the last 12 years. He didn't make money. And if you work that hard, you should make money. He was
also backed by billionaires. Like Turning Point USA turned
what
what
successful
it is
person isn't backed by rich people? Every successful individual you see has some sort of backing by somebody else more successful than they are.
And I'm not but there's billionaires don't pour billions or whatever, whatever money into media without getting something out of it.
Of course, it's political influence, but how you do the influencing matters. That's why I said, like, with his voice gone, would you rather have Charlie Sheen or Nick Fuentes?
Yeah,
would you
Charlie
have
Sheen is
Charlie Kirk?
No, that's incredible. Yo, we need Tiger blood.
Let's go.
We need Tiger blood leading the way. Yeah, talk about winning. Damn right.
That's a pivot, bro. That's a
Wow.
Charlie. You guys want to?
I've seen an interview with him with Joe Rogan the other day. That's why he was on my mind.
No,
they were literally live reacting to Charlie getting shot.
Yeah. We've seen that,
which is crazy.
And Charlie Sheen, dude has changed.
Oh my
God. Yeah. I mean, after
transformations,
like pivoting this conversation to a whole different, like he literally slapped everybody around with those conversations. And ultimately, I think that's why people are mad. He was more intelligent than most people. And you couldn't argue with him. So your first reaction is just shut up.
It's like Mike Tyson in a ring with like a kid. It's like, of course you vilify him in that sense.
And that's like, he's a master debater, right? That is.
He's a what?
He's a master debater.
The South Park episode.
Yeah, which they took down. Or no, they're not doing reruns of, after this. But yeah, I mean,
that's sad.
But like debating is a skill. If you don't practice that skill, it doesn't really matter how smart you are. You know what I mean?
It's a little bit more than a skill too, though. There has to be truth in your.
There's more to it than that for sure. But like you can win a debate knowing less. Or like you can win a debate being wrong. Yeah, you know what I mean?
No, of course. Yeah. But I think when your debate is backed by truth, and like a lot of times his arguments went back to God. He talked a lot about the transgender movement, about Israel, and he always connected it back to the Bible and stuff. It's like, how do you argue with that? There's a lot of people that do, but
and that's where I think some people felt like he wasn't genuine all the time, because when everything goes back to like, I have this position because I'm America first, I have this position because of my religion, then it's harder to argue against it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So with whatever the topic is at hand, when you tie it into those things, you're going to have a bunch of people on your side, you know what I'm saying, validating it, regardless of how good the, the substance of the argument is. You know what I mean?
Of course. What do y'all think is gonna be like during the next few weeks? Because after the smoke settles, after
Yeah.
the smoke settles, things gonna get swayed one way or another. I don't think this is something that was just lit and the flames of it is gonna die down quickly.
Yeah.
I just don't know what the outcome is gonna be.
I think the identity of the shooter plays a huge role in what the impact is going to be, what the fallout is going to be, because if that was a documented leftist, radical leftist, I think people have been called, like, I've seen right wingers calling for a civil war for years now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Obviously not
because
the majority,
from my
but-
side, no, a lot. You're
Right,
not
okay,
even
thank you.
hearing half of
Okay.
it
That's what I think, but
because we
never
think
Come
it's
to
an
my
easy
office.
W.
yeah.
People on the right know that it's an easy W for us if
Word.
it does get down to it.
Word. Yeah,
So,
right. So they've been calling it
yeah.
for a minute. So if this was a radical leftist that did it, I think that's definitely. I mean, they were all calling for it anyway, immediately after it happened, right? So, but the fact is that this is somebody who's like kind of on this. If it comes out that this is a Nick Fuentes, if he's a Groyper, I honestly think it's just gonna die down, which is sad. But
You mean because wait, if it comes out that this is like
that
a
he's
right
a
wing,
yeah,
like
that's
a radical
right-wing guy.
right wing, you
Yeah,
think it's
I
gonna
don't-
die down?
Yes.
I think it's the opposite. I think it's gonna get ramped up the fuck. I mean, that's what they were hoping for if you're on the left.
The
But
the
like-
media is gonna ramp it up.
But
The
there was
media.
I mean, but
Fox is not gonna talk about it,
Well-
but the other 49.
well, look, how do we combat
Yeah.
the media, right? That's a question for me, and there's a simple solution to that. Okay,
reappeal.
we stop paying attention, and what I mean by that is, okay, well, if I don't agree, I don't agree with CNN, right? I just at this point don't care. They're liars. That's just what I've come to. That's my. So any commercial, any company that is contributing to that, I can vote with my dollar and go, I'm not going to participate. I'm not going to give money to those institutions. Look at what happened to Bud Light. They tried to push the transgender thing, and next thing you know, you got Kid Rock shooting up Bud Light. That is how we vote every single day on what do we actually align with. So I think for all the Republicans out there, if you really want to make a difference, stop paying attention to these institutions or companies that are aligned with it.
But then where do you take your focus to? Because if you don't watch the traditional news networks, right, you have to go to social media.
You watch us.
And definitely watch it. But social media, about 30% of it is bots. Those bots are operated by our foreign adversaries, China, Iran, North Korea, Russia.
And as problematic as establishment media is, there's like some standards for it. With social
It's the
media,
devil
there's-
that you know.
Yeah. But like also like on online, like who a lot of these people aren't researching what they're talking about. It's like it's so much more audience capture. Difference with establishment media, you have the hosts that are speaking, they aren't having personal relationships with the sponsors, where you have influencers that are talking directly to these people who are paying them all this money to have these certain perspectives. So it's like it's the good and bad. I get way more of my news from like YouTubers that I trust. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like YouTube journalists and stuff like that. But it's still they're people that I trust because I know that they do the background work. But so much of what we see on social media, so much of the stuff that goes viral is just having a hot take, or like it's the same stuff that makes establishment media go crazy. It's the sensationalized stuff. It's not necessarily the truth. So like I don't know how much getting off establishment media and into the social media sphere actually helps. You know what I'm saying?
But I think
truth.
Yeah, it's an impossible problem to solve. I remember being in California when the 2016 election was happening, and I would have my arguments with people because this is around the time that I was getting red pilled, and I was like, wait a second, what is truth? And someone's like, you need to inform yourself. It's like, okay, how long? Like, tell me what he's like. Well, every day, spend like an hour, 2 hours. It's like, so I need to spend hours every day informing myself. If I want to know what the weather is tomorrow, you know what I do? I look at the Weather Channel.
Yeah.
But a good example here is like with 2016 when they were like, oh, it's going to be a landslide victory for Hillary.
Yes.
That's like you saying, hey, tomorrow's going to be sunny skies.
Mm.
And then the next day, guess what? Torrential downpour. Would you ever go back to that Weather Channel again?
Well,
No.
informing and predicting are two different things, right?
Yeah.
So, like, informant,
Yeah.
you have to observe information and soak it in and comprehend it.
Yeah.
But prediction, nobody can. That's how Trump was going to lose this past time too to Kamala.
And
But
those polls
things-
were crazy.
Things change quickly. I think that's more prediction, but ultimately, I think that falls on us. I said it before. Did you get it?
Did you get it?
I did.
Ah!
All right, we have one mission and one mission only. I'm like Cash Patel right now. Within the next 3 minutes and 30 seconds, we will get this fly, whatever it is.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
All hands on deck.
Yeah,
Hands on deck.
right.
Give me my gun.
Oh man, but yeah, man, this is a crazy week. Well, how do you guys see things playing out? You asked how do I see things playing out over the next couple weeks? I'm interested to hear what you guys think.
I'm the firm believer that this is going to be controversial, that we are getting closer to the end of times. Some sort of end of times. The way it's going with the AI technology, how it's advancing.
Yeah, bro.
I'm on the calendar that thinks 2,000 years after Christ is passing, he will come back. 2033, we're going to hit that mark. This battle, like I said, it's not political, it's not social, it's not anything but spiritual. And I think ultimately we have to wrap our head around how we can spiritually fight this. And by that, I mean like ground yourself in a scripture, God. Because society right now doesn't have the answers. We're just treading waters. We're treading waters to the best that we possibly can.
Yeah.
And incidents like this, all the school shootings, people confused about their gender and identity, we are losing focus of what humanity is and what we were put here. And I think a lot of that is our lives are getting too comfortable. When you have too much free time on your hand, people have to fill that free time with something. And that something is social media nowadays, that is an echo chamber of whatever radical views that they have, and it just get concreted and concreted and concreted every single day. It has to be the identity change. No pun intended. This is a turning point. This turning point would be the turning point that we get closer to God, or it's a turning point that we get far, far away and we go for an eye, and then we leave the whole nation blind. And this is coming at the worst time possible when our foreign adversaries like China, North Korea, Iran, Russia, they're all combining forces. And we had an open border that we have so many people inside this country that we don't know who they are. So we're dealing with that threat. We're dealing with the threat of we can get along with ourselves. And we're dealing with all the other countries around the world that want nothing but our destruction. And that is comfort. We forgot the Cold War. We forgot World War II because nobody's alive from it. We forgot those things. And that comfort is making us complacent.
Absolutely.
And when you become complacent, that's when you destroy yourself. You die.
Your walls are down. Absolutely.
I don't say too, like, if I'm trying to look at it from this kid's perspective, this evil person who killed, the moment he pulls that trigger, he has significance. So people feel significant. If you come out and say you're transgender, now you're significant, right? It's almost like there's this immediate here. Now I can be seen and heard. And does that derive from some sort of narcissistic need? Did you not get enough hugs as a kid? I know when I was working in Hollywood, and I really understood what acting is, or what and certain actors, it's full of self-serving narcissists. It's and it's like, do I want to be a mouthpiece for these people?
Yeah.
And that's when I was
it's
like,
extreme
I'm gonna go do music.
narcissism. It's extreme narcissism. It's that you believe in your thoughts, that you're so righteous and you're so right that you're willing to take a life for it. You have that much convictions in who you are.
I mean, but I don't know this guy. Do you saw all this stuff that was written on the
Yeah.
shelves, right? It was like a joke to this guy.
It was.
You know what I mean?
It's a gamer culture.
It very gamer culture.
But a gamer culture guy does not go take one single shot and leave. If
I mean,
this
if you take
guy's
that shot,
huh?
I mean, if you take that shot,
If you take that shot that precise and you get away that quickly,
yeah, no, it was crazy.
how much practice do you have to have climbing buildings?
Did you see when
Um,
he jumped down? It's like both my knees would be
Yeah.
gone.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, was that 2 stories coming down?
Yeah, nah, it's
Could you imagine that? Real quick, as a father,
bro. Imagine seeing a picture and be like, that looks like my
little boy."
child.
Tyler, get in here.
Yeah.
you're in trouble, young man.
Like, you're in trouble, young man. It's crazy. Yeah, crazy.
Would you hold on, pause it real quick? Would you turn your kid in? I don't even have to think about it. Yes.
That's the right thing, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
how do you go to
Yeah.
sleep at night after that?
Yeah. How do you trust that kid to be in the same house? I'll sleep with one eye open.
Well, and it's like, you know, the other cases of like people who have done mass shootings and like the parents knew, right? There's those instances where, like the parents knew they were plotting something and they said nothing. So I mean, good. I mean, heartfelt, good for this guy that this is horrible. But let's see what else.
Pause that. Okay. We don't have too much time, but to touch on the same thing that he talked about as well, if you can do the audio. Mute the audio, please. During the time that he was shot, the person on MSNBC, this is right after the next
Oh,
few
yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
On MSNBC, this person was, we don't know who it was. It could be one of the people,
Supporter.
the supporters that did the celebratory shot.
That's what I saw.
like,
that.
That's the most fucking retarded
It's
thing
like,
I've ever heard
are
in my
you-
life.
What do you think? Conservatives just have events and like bam,
That
bam,
is
bam.
the
Everybody's
most-
just like shooting in the air. There's
Like,
no
I'm
Wild
gonna
Wild
celebrate in the middle of him talking.
This-
That is-
What?
That has to be the most idiotic thing someone has ever said on
And
news.
this social media posts like that, those pages are true. I see them on X all the time. These are large follower accounts that just putting stuff out there without any discrimination, any sort of responsibility being
Yeah.
taken on them. Do y'all want to say anything before we close this episode? Because this is, I think, a turning point, and it's just happened, and I think this is a big deal right now, and I don't see this becoming less of a deal anytime soon, because if you heard his wife Erica last night give this speech,
Yeah, I didn't get to hear that.
I don't think this is gonna be the water on the fire as everybody thought. I think it's gonna be more gasoline on it. It just, to me, is like, which way is this fire going? Is it gonna get
Yeah.
everybody warmed up, or is it gonna burn the whole house down?
It does
And-
expose a lot of things though too, because like if you see, there's a lot of videos of people reacting to it in real time. There's another woman who was doing like a college thing, and she got the news, and as she said it out loud, people started laughing,
TMZ,
and it's like
the celebrated
Yo.
when he was dead.
what that brought to me, and I actually posted this on Facebook. Like one of the phenomenons of this whole thing, it's almost as like Facebook threw on a filter that says, "Show me all the demented evil people," so I can start deleting. I am deleting in Facebook, of course, but yeah, I'm really sad by this, and I had a mental breakdown like right after it because somebody at work showed me the video, and I just started crying and throwing up, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna make music.
Scott.
Literally, I mean, from not just this that happened, but, and I just posted this on my Facebook, among other places, but just music is one of those things that reminds us that we have more in common.
Mm.
So it has been an inspiration for me to just like go back to doing things that fulfill me and also take me away from the differences, you know, that we all have. I think our different forms of media are all incentivized by spotlighting all the places that we may have differences, and, you know, being divisive And I think that we're going to see a lot more of that. We're going to see a lot of finger pointing and everything like that. And, my hope for people is that we remember that we're people, all of us, no matter where you're from, no matter what country you're in, no matter what state you're in, no matter what your political affiliation is. And obviously, whatever your background is, just remember that we're all people that, for the most part, like the vast majority of us, want the same things. We may have different perspectives and different ideas on how to get there and how to get there as a society. But I hope that people can understand that the media doesn't have our best interests in heart, that people have our best interests at heart. And we have to really dive into, community.
Amen.
Absolutely. Which one is my camera? That one. I started this show with the belief that dialogue is how we solve all the problems that we have in front of us civilly. And this past week has shown me how important that process is. Because if we live in a society where conversations, debates have to end in death, that's not a civil society, especially in 2025. We deserve better. We should leave a better country for our children than what we have been doing for the last 10 years, 12 years. This nation has been radicalized over and over, and it has gone further and further to the extreme. And it's up to each one of us as an individual to do that. And ultimately, I want to echo the life that Charlie had. Live a righteous life. Surround yourself by family and faith. Serve your country. I think Charlie lived a life that I think is with not much regret. I wish he had more than one life to give for his country, but we have to deal with one. Damn, I'm gonna cry again. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, yo, I
Thank you for coming
appreciate
by.
you, bro.
Thank you, JC. Yes, sir. We all will get better. We all will do better.
Absolutely.
We owe it to the next generation to do that. Braxton.
It's this right here, bro. It's
No,
people like you.
Absolutely. Braxton, our producer. Thank you, brother.
Yeah,
Love you.
thank you.
I appreciate you guys.
Let's go.